Well, I am back with Nicki Pascarella, who just read a sample from Charlotte's Kisses, which is the first book in a new series. And a couple of things stood out to me. One is that this has a very strong Cinderella feel to it. Can you talk about your choice to do Regency romance for the series? And then also, are they all going to have a little fairy tale influence?
So, and yes, so this one actually has, it definitely is a fairy telling reimagining, and it definitely has a Cinderella Snow White kind of combination feel because it's just in general that evil stepmother and the henchman taking you into the woods. So the next book in the series, Victoria's Whispers, is releasing in December, and it actually does not have a fairy tale retelling. So it is a little bit different. So the whole series is will be based on the whole series is based on Mark Hay, who is dying and hires Hugh Fletcher, who we meet in this scene, to find all of his biblos before he passes. So each of his biblos is featured in a love story as Hugh tracks them down. So we'll see Hugh and Charlotte as reoccurring characters throughout the entire series. So, but they aren't. This one is a fairy tale reimagining. They won't all be.
Okay. And what drew you to use those fairy tale themes?
I wanted this story. So I love villains. Okay. So all of my stories have a villain in them of some sort. So
Hmm.
even though my characters are going through the ebbs and flows of the relationship and finding each other, really what they're besides working through their relationship issues, they are combating some villain. So I created this completely evil stepmother, and I love her. She's really horrible, but I just knew that when I did that, I was creating this character who was so extreme that it really did fit into those fairy tale kind of thoughts. So I
Yeah.
kind of went back into the story and added all of these it just fit with Hugh and Charlotte. And Charlotte's so innocent, but she's so passionate and really trying to be brave and bold. And Hugh is Expo Street runner, and he's a little bit of a vigilante. So it just
Hmm.
really fit with the themes.
Yeah. Well, I love the little detail of like the lovebirds because immediately I was, back in Disney's Cinderella where they're the
Yes,
birds singing and everything.
yes, yes. She loves it. And Cricket, who we mentioned at the beginning, you don't know who that is, but she'd gone to see Cricket. Cricket is a three-legged goat that she saved. So she has this. She is a goat and she is a kitten, and what she really wants more than anything is a dog. So yeah, so
Mm,
she's definitely kind of sweet and innocent and pink and sparkly with all of these little animals, as
yeah.
he's really kind of edgy and outside the law.
Yeah. Well, and we mentioned in your bio that you write all sorts of romances, and then you preface this saying that this series is a little steamier, maybe a little edgier than what you've written
Yes.
before. So, what made you decide to try out Steamy, and how did it feel?
Yeah. So when I started writing women's fiction, and it was closed door. I was a high school teacher when I first started writing. And so as I wrote, and then I did a lot of I was writing after that, and I did a historical fiction piece, and then I started getting steamier. So my other stuff is steamy. It is all pretty steamy, but this I wanted even steamier. So I love a lot of steam, and I love steam in my historical romance. So I think as an author got more comfortable with it, I really just wanted I wanted my scenes to, as I read other readers, and I read some of my favorite readers like Tessa Dare and Tracy Sumner and Caroline Lee, and I just love how lengthy their scenes are and how involved they are. So I just really wanted to bring that to my writing.
Yeah. And did you find it, you talk about getting through creative blocks. Was that part of a creative block, or how did it interact with your creative process?
I think it was a confidence issue. Here I was this, kind of sweet high school teacher, and I have this thing where I like to read steamy romance, but I'm reading classics with my students at school. So for 30 years, that's who I was. I was, kind of this very loving, caring teacher, but kind of, strict with the kids, like you can't swear, we're going to read and then, so I think I just, once I retired from teaching and I became Nicki, the writer, I was just able to embrace more of that personality. So yeah, I do think that is working through kind of a block and a style.